Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy Evolution Leader Class Skyquake from the Prime Universe. That said, this of course brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro, as well as my good buddy Evil Villain. Click the link in the description below. Head on over to his Instagram and give him a follow. Let him know Overlord sent you. Because why not, you dingus? That said, I would show off the accessories, but, well, I don't have those. Much like the Deluxe Class Prime Universe RC, those got lots of time. But granted, they're kind of crap anyway, so, might have to pick up the third-party kit for this guy as well. That said, taking a closer look at him, I will say he feels a bit naked without his Gatling guns. I remember having a little Cyberverse figure of this guy that had like 2 Gatling guns. This guy came with like a Gatling gun and a sword, but the sword is more like a shank because it's barely squat, so I don't know what's up with that. But he looks really good. And mine, thankfully, locks in for the most part. Like, the wings want to stay on the back. The waist likes to come untabbed, but whatever. I will say the one thing that's a little odd is if I pop these down and flip these up. Now he kind of has better heel support. Like, I kind of wish this little flap here could go up a little more, or was up a little higher, so you could push this out, because as it stands, he's a little tricky to stand. Just a little bit. Other than being a little tricky to stand, though, this is probably one of the better, probably is the best as far as I'm concerned, Prime Universe offering from this line. So much so that his brother goes for kind of a lot of money, which sucks because I don't have that guy. I'll try to track him down and some weapons for this guy. But at any rate, as far as the rest of his articulation goes, his head will rotate, look up pretty high, a little tiny bit of tilt. His shoulder pads are on full-blown ball joints, so you can get those however you want. Shoulders are on little clicky ratchets. So that's cool. They will rotate. He's got a beautiful butterfly, pretty much. He's got a really stiff bicep swivel, but not stiff in a bad way. Single-jointed elbows that get way past 90. He's got wrist swivel. I say mine's wings stay on as they pop off. Actually, I think they just snap back in. What happened here? These were like up and in place. Well, those came dislodged. That's great. Son of a gun. He's got a waist twist. That works pretty well. And if you dislodge it, you get an ab crunch. That'll go this far forward. Which looks kind of janky, so I don't know why you would use that, but cool. He does have hips that'll kick out, back down, forward, back. He's got a thigh cut. Pretty decent bend at the knee. And then we already went over the heels, but the toes themselves, they kind of move, not a lot. That's really where he suffers the most, I think, in this mode. So, getting him fixed up here. He is a cool figure. I like him a lot. He's kind of a pain in the butt, but I do like him quite a bit. So, standing him up there. Make sure he's centered before we break out our two regulars. The Mythic Legion's brother Mandibilith, right here, who is no stranger to big chunky shoulder pauldrons. And the infamous 11 Spawn, who is not tired over everyone today, because good old Skyquake is taller. Ain't that something? So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from a couple of things not tabbing in on my particular figure, although I've heard that is a widespread issue with this guy, although you should take into account that I am, in some instances, kind of stupid and can screw things up. My Dark of the Moon Megatron review is a perfect example of that. Anyway, even without the weapons, though, I think good old Skyquake here is a fine addition to the Prime Universe collection we have been building out since Transformers Legacy. And at the moment, since I don't have Smokescreen or Cliffjumper in hand, is probably the best of those offerings, along with his brother Dreadwing, which hopefully I can find one of those for a decent price at some point. So, with that being said, before we wrap this sucker up, why don't we get this guy transformed and take a closer look at his vehicle mode. And as promised, here we have good old Skyquake in his jet mode. As you can see, fairly large and in charge, even in this mode. And not a lot of kibble to speak of on the bottom, other than the arms, really, and maybe the legs, but kind of fits the aesthetic of the jet mode, if you ask me. Of course, you can fold up the landing gear so he can fly around. I will say, I do have the feet mistransformed ever so slightly. It's supposed to be like that, but if you flip him out like this, you can actually prop him up like a space shuttle. So he takes up a little less real estate, but really they should be folded all the way back. So let's flip those landing gear back out. That said, there is a spot to plug in the weapon up front here. I'm guessing somewhere around here. There's probably a slot or something you could tab that into, but again, I don't have that. I heard it's not the best weapon ever, but it's a weapon nonetheless. I will also mention there are these two tabs up here, which I'm assuming are for the combination with Needle Nose, which the G1 version of this character associates with, more so than the Prime Universe version. So, you know, if you have that guy, you can slap him on there and combine them. I remember back in the Bayformer days, the Deluxe Scorponok and Voyager Blackout being able to do some weird hodgepodge stuff like that, but I don't have a lot of Transformers that combine like that unless they're like the Junkions we looked at recently, not the Studio Series ones, but the Legacy ones, where you could actually just pop them apart and combine them that way, or even the Rock Lord characters, like the one that came with the Thundertron set. Another Prime Universe character, Thundertron, not the Rock Lord guy. So, with that being said, I like this Skyquake figure, but I'm going to need to find him some weapons one of these days. I say that because my RC still does not have any weapons, so guess that shows where my priorities lie. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.